invigorating about a good scare, wouldn't you say? And that's something we're going to touch on today. I mean, what I just did, that's not going to frighten anyone over the age of 2. But when you experience that true fear, that adrenaline rush, survival state of mind taking over, there's a somewhat twisted sense of enjoyment that it brings to you. I mean, there's an entire facet of entertainment devoted to the horror genre. Movies, books, games, people love their scares, as well as finding new ways to scratch that ever so tantalizing terror itch. Here at Pressback, games are our specialty, so today, let's do a Deceiver dissection on a little-known survival horror game for the original PlayStation, Tomba! But for real, Hellnight, or Dark Messiah, as it's known in Japan, isn't normally discussed in the original PlayStation survival horror conversation. And that's to be expected, since it was only released outside of Japan in Europe. As such, the game is a complete mystery. There's a distinct lack of mainstream reviews, and it is impossible to find the director for the game. The developers, Dennou Eizou Seisakusho, if that's how you say that, are obscure themselves, really only working on Desperia for the Sega Dreamcast after completing this game. However, it was published by Atlus of Shin Megami Tensei fame, and the English translation was hand-led by Konami. So there's definitely an interesting story to unravel here. Speaking of story, Hellnight places you into the first-person perspective of a Tokyo citizen on their way home from work. Suddenly, you're approached by a group of insane cultists known as the Holy Ring, who are preaching about the end of the world at the turn of the millennium. The game was released in 1998. You flee into the subway to take the last train home, and as horror fans know, this never ends well. A horrific creature drops onto the track and derails the train, killing 56 people. You and a Japanese schoolgirl named Naomi Segura appear to be the only survivors. The monster continues its rampage as you flee. Black Ops troops surround you. Confronted with certain doom, your only chance of survival is to flee further into the labyrinth-like subway systems. Ultimately, you stumble upon an underground city, built during the war by the Japanese Imperial Army, called the Tokyo Mesh. Now, if you think that was a lot to take in, trust me, you aren't alone. The majority of the information is only really delivered in a speedy opening title crawl, placed over some disturbing FMVs, and accompanied by the only horror music to prominently feature the sitar. Leggy and I were in the mood to be spooked. I mean, with the tagline, "The only thing you can do is run, and keep running." How could you not be? As fans of both the Silent Hill franchise and Resident Evil, we were interested in seeing Atlus's foray into the survival horror market. Too bad he died, because we already know we're the only survivor, along with a girl. What?
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's why it wasn't allowed in the States.
Can we show this?
Eek.
Eek.
Gasp. This is going to be an experience. I guess there's only one way to go. Hey. What's this? It's got this weird looking mark on it. Kind of creepy if you ask me.
Hey, she's like the original Elizabeth. For,
yeah, here, take this.
Yeah, from BioShock Infinite.
Let me move.
Run! Get going, get scooting.
I wonder how fast it is.
Want to turn around and look?
Kind of, but the turnaround speed's so bad.
Oh, you got the map. Hey, maybe you can...
Ah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. You can actually... There's a shortcut for that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they weren't kidding. The only thing you can do in this game is run. There is absolutely no combat whatsoever. It's kind of like something we see in modern horror titles like Outlast or Amnesia: The Dark Descent. When you see that marionette-like monster drop down right in front of you, your only hope is your cardio. The game seems to take inspiration from old dungeon crawlers. You navigate around each of the maze-like levels and interact with the different characters, picking up items along the way that will further your progress back to the surface. You also have a companion that will accompany you throughout the game, who serves as a health meter of sorts. When you get hit by the monster, whoever your companion is at the time will perish first, giving you the chance to escape, but leaving you all alone. So the next time you're hit, it's game over. Losing a companion actually affects the story. We'll touch on that in a bit. You start off with Naomi. Pressing the square button allows you to interact with her. She'll sometimes remind you of your task, or she'll say something foreboding, or just plain bizarre. Bizarre is an understatement with this game, truly. If the mad cultists, gruesome monsters, and the underground cities weren't a lot for you, oh boy, and I cannot say this enough, that is just the start. Hellnight is an enigma, wrapped in a mystery, all packaged up in a box buried out in the backyard. And that feeling of being buried and suffocating does shine through. The Mesh is an oppressive place, both visually and in level design. It's also filled with quirky denizens who have fled their lives above ground to seek out meager existences in the depths. And to be honest with all of you, the horrific 3D models that appear out of nowhere scared me more than the monster did. Oh God! This scares me more than anything. I don't want to give away too much, because I do think there are people out there that would like to play this game for the story. So let's shift focus. Gameplay. To be frank, it's extremely underwhelming. In a game with so much world building and build up around its monster, when you're actually playing the game, there's a distinct disconnect. Cutscenes get you amped up for this disgusting, rampaging monster out for blood, all tied to doomsday cults and military secrecy. But when you play, all you get are poorly designed levels, an endless barrage of take item A to person B type tasks, and a monster that you can easily juke away from and just go about your day. Puzzle-solving elements do exist, but they are surprisingly surface level at best. You do have a character called the Mole, there to give you hints on what to do with each item you get, but seriously, good luck finding where you need to take them. There is a distinct lack of direction with this game. Nothing is made clear, which is fine and works in most horror games, but it just falls flat here. Heck, we didn't even know your companions could interact with the monster until the final stage of the game.
That's what it was talking about, okay.
And it wasn't until I started researching for this video did I learn the only reason we knew where the monster was at times on the map was specifically because Naomi was our companion. This is somewhat alluded to with extremely vague dialogue at the very beginning of the game, but we just thought it was a quirk of the game, not actually explaining a mechanic to us. It's not made clear whatsoever.
It's waiting for us.
Okay, so wait, it's gonna warn us when it's
holding its breath, waiting for us to come so it can surprise.
Mainly, the prevailing issue is the map. The levels are a labyrinth, and the only way you're getting through them is with the map that you can pull up on command. Information terminals in each level will give a full look at the map and the areas in that level, but you'll want to take a picture if you're going to progress through the game at a reasonable pace. Otherwise, you're going to spend hours losing your way trying to find who needs their broken headphones and what guy needs to drink wine so good it kills him. Pass the lips over the gums, look out stomach, here she comes. This is the best I've ever tasted. I've got no more regrets. Dang, he's got no more regrets about his life. Peaceful Jinbei. Lies dead? What? We killed him? He died! Sound design is where the game shines. Full credit goes to the composers here. The majority of the tracks help create an anxiety-filled, horrific atmosphere. Although, there are parts where some stock sound effects are used way too much. I'd wager that problem stems from what really was hurting this game. A lack of budget. The stock sound effects, poor CGI, zero voice acting, and a rushed ending all point to potential budgetary issues, although there is no way to truly know about the reality behind these problems. Hellnight has quite an intriguing story, one that tackles many issues I haven't seen explored in a game before. There are a total of 6 different endings that are obtainable, so there is replayability value. Bad CGI aside, you won't forget the character models anytime soon. Honestly, I actually enjoy the look of the creature and other characters like That Which Wanders and That Which Whispers. And the main plot reveal again wrestles with some interesting concepts that you might expect to see in some Lovecraftian type media. This is an odd game, left in the realm of obscurity due to its lack of media attention and limited release. My suggestion would be to go watch a Let's Play, or maybe a walkthrough. If it's your type of game, give it a try. Otherwise, it's best to experience what this game has to offer from a second head perspective. See, brought it back around, like one big circle. This dissection is complete. Conclusion? A unique take on the survival horror genre, albeit lacking in game design and gameplay. A title certainly not for everyone, so make sure to be worth your time before playing. It would be nice to see Atlus give this game a complete remake, and definitely include more sitar. This has been The Deceiver, and thanks for watching. Remember, always press back. And please like, subscribe, and check out the comment section.